Oh, hello folks. Welcome to today's live stream. So I can see a few of you have been waiting in chat. Apologies for that. I had a few issues actually. I was finishing off a download and so I didn't have the bandwidth. It took a little bit longer than I expected to do that. And then I had to go and make a cup of tea because I don't want to be stuck here for the next hour and not actually have a drink. But hopefully now we're all good to go and everything is coming through absolutely fine. So hello to those that have already joined us on the stream. Jesse, you got the platinum. Ah, fantastic. That's a big well done. Congratulations. By the way, something that I'm wondering about, because I'm still actually quite new to live streaming, and I've only been doing it for like 3 or 4 days, is because I scheduled this as an event, and yes, I was a few minutes late, I do apologise for that, but because I scheduled it as an event, did you guys actually get notified of that before I went live, or was it just like when I went live? Because I was kind of experimenting with it more than anything. But if you did actually get notified before I went live, then I would definitely pay more attention to it in future and make sure that I'm on time. But yeah, like I said, I had a download going. I was downloading Knack on the PS4 because it's part of the PlayStation subscription thingy. For the month, PlayStation Gold, whatever it's called. So I didn't realise it was going to be like 35 gig. Hello Venton, hello Daniel, welcome to the stream. We've just literally got started, which actually you already know, I'm sure. And I did mean to do this off stream as well, but I did manage to get a few license points spent. And the other thing I just want to do before we get started properly today is just go ahead and see if there's any hunts available, because we haven't seen any for a while. Ah, that's okay, that's really good to know. I haven't done, like I say, a whole lot of YouTube streaming, so you got notified when I made the event. That's actually really helpful then. Oh, thanks for confirming that. Cheers, guys. So I'll try and schedule these events a couple of hours before I go live then. I don't always know, you see, when I'm going to be able to go live. But I should know an hour or two before. And that way, hopefully, if you can make it, then at least you'll know about it. Yeah, because what I thought, I didn't know if you got notified or if you only knew that I was going to be going live if you checked the channel out manually, just like coincidentally, if that makes sense. But no, that is good to know then. Yeah, good afternoon, Daniel. It's 10 to 3 in the afternoon here. Legends of Dragoon, I've not played it, Greg. But it is a game that I do keep meaning to get to. Okay, it's been out for probably over 15 years now. But maybe one day I will actually get to it. It is, isn't it, Jesse, the RNG situation on the PC. I was reading a Reddit post, actually. If you go over to Reddit, someone has updated that information. And apparently the seed, which is what determines where the numbers begin when you start healing, is on the PC version based on the how many seconds have passed since some date in 1970, combined with how many seconds it's been since you last loaded the game up, if that makes sense. So there's really no way, unfortunately, to keep a static number as to where the random numbers are going to start, or the so-called random numbers. So it works the same way as PS4, but the actual starting seed is so different every time you load the game up that there's just going to be no way, really, of manipulating the RNG, unfortunately. From the way I understand it, anyway. Right, first thing I do want to do, since we've just picked those hunts up, is see where the people are that we need to go and speak to for them. Okay, so we need to go into the weapon shop for the first one here. I love the way in Final Fantasy XII you can actually go ahead and select multiple hunts and have multiple hunts on the way at any one time. But in Final Fantasy XV, which was a newer game, you couldn't until recently. You could only pick one hunt up at any one time. Hiya, Ash. I haven't actually, I've got to be honest. Mostly just due to time constraints more than anything. A lot of these games you mentioned in chat, guys, they are games that I do want to try and play. Generally, when I haven't been able to, it is literally because of time, as is the case with the Dissidia games, actually. Right, who's the one? Oh, it's this soldier, isn't it? Hiya, COD Gamer. Welcome. Just have a sip of my tea. Keeps me going through the stream, that does. I think it's the caffeine in it keeps me awake. Right, so we did pick up 3 hunts. I just want to briefly check where the others are. Okay, we are actually going over to Jahara in the very near future. So that's good to know. And the Giza Plains is going to be our next destination as well. So I'm pretty sure we're at the point of the game now where the Giza Plains is stuck in rainy mode. So we'll have to just do what we can in terms of hunts and whatnot. Bearing in mind that particular situation. I have gone ahead and spent my license points just before I started the stream. So I do just need to heal up, actually. Oh, we wasn't using 4 times speed. I thought things were going a little slow then. At first, I was like, nah, 4 times speed is just far too fast. But you do actually get used to it. I rarely even use the 2 times speed anymore, to be honest with you. Okay, so this is the first time we've encountered the Giza Plains in rainy season. There's only one chest, actually. That is a chest that only spawns once. And we do need to go ahead and remove the diamond armlet here. Let's go for the bangle. Hello and welcome to those that have just come on. Good to have you here. We've just started the stream, actually. And I was messing around with the new, well, not the new, but new to me, events manager on YouTube for live streams. So, some of you managed to see that we were going to be going live. But I was a little bit late, so apologies to those of you that were waiting for me. I will endeavour to do better next time on that. Things are looking a little bit bare and barren around here now because it's the rainy season. So we've got the hunt selected. Let's just see exactly where that is. I like the way as well that when you go to the clan primer, you get fully updated on the location of every aspect of the hunt that you're doing. So first of all, it told us where the petitioner was going to be. Now it's telling us where the hunt is going to be. Hello, Jackie. Good morning to you, or good afternoon from my perspective. Was the crocodile in this location or the one that's just after us? Just let me remind myself of that again. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Okay, the one that's just below us. Right, there's actually a chest. I think I missed it in the last area where the save crystal is. Why I didn't get this, I don't know. Oh, come on, let's... Okay, we turn the speed off for the treasure chests. And region is something we do want to get. So in terms of the story, we've got to head over to the Ozmone plain, and then over to that village that's just past it. But I'm trying to get some of these hunts done now as well, before we actually get there. Just to, you know, tick them off the list, so to speak. They do build up quite quickly, don't they, in this game? There's about 50 of them in total. Oh, fantastic, Jackie. Congratulations. Did it take him any attempts to get that in the end? Pinello seems to be slacking a little bit in terms of health compared to the other party members. So I need to try and keep her away from the action at all times if possible. I've got 12,000 gil at the moment. I'm looking forward to being able to purchase the cat ear accessory, or the cat hood accessory, whatever it's called. The one that gives you gil when you get experience. Since you do have gil pretty much coming out of your ears at that point once you get those. If you get all 6 of them anyway. A little bit overpowered, but still fun. Right then, there's also the quest, isn't there? To knock the withered trees down. So we'll probably do that at some point as well while we're here, I should think. On PS2 you can get the bow. Yes, you have to be playing though, Greg, the international edition. Or the international version, which I believe was only released in Japan. Although it's possible, I think, to play it in English. But in the original version of Final Fantasy XII, none of the invisible weapons happen to exist. So it is limited to the international job system. Oh, there's Crocodile. Oh, he's got a fair whack of health, hasn't he? Oh, yeah, he's also appearing in the Trials, isn't he? Have I got this spell handy? Let's get rid of some of his debuffs there, or some of his buffs. Hopefully Pinello's going to keep us alive. Yeah, a lot changed actually for the Zodiac Age, including the fact that the ultimate weapons of the PS2 version, the original, are no longer the ultimate weapons because the invisible weapons are. They're just very, very hard to get. Not because they're challenging, but because of the low drop chance. Right, so Fran and Pinello are going to need a little bit of health. I need to sort out charge, actually. I haven't done that yet. Ah, frick, I need to get some high potions as well, look. Let's slow things down a touch. And this guy's almost dead, actually. Right, let's just bring someone else in for now. Say Bash. Bash is quite tanky, actually. If we can get him taking some aggro here, we might be able to stand a chance, but at the moment I'm not having a whole lot of luck. Just make sure that everything here is okay. Could really do with some high potions. I'm going to have to purchase some the next time we get the chance to. Goodbye, you. Oh, come on. He's just absolutely... Oh, I remember. I think this guy goes up like 30 levels once he's nearly dead, which makes things a lot harder. Okay, so I've got an idea here. Yeah, good luck with that, Satyrs. Final Fantasy X. Good classic. Right, my plan I don't know if this is going to work or not. If we can survive, it might. But my plan is let's get Ash out, bring Balthea in, and try and get Belial summoned. Okay, that's okay. We're okay. Let's just slow things down a touch. And let's see if we can get a heal off on Balthea before we do this. Yeah, we did. Okay, Bash is probably going to die, but we've got a chance here. We've got a chance. Yeah, see you later, Jesse. Take care. Right, now we need to try and keep Balthea healed while Belial does the biz here. Oh, what the heck? His health, he's healed. What the? Somebody please tell me what is going on here. This is insanity. He's gone back up to full health. The boss. I'm trying to get Balthea healed up just in case he's to take some damage. But with normal potions, this is a slow process. The good news is that Belial seems to be tanking this guy fairly well, actually. We should have summoned him from the start. Renton, the game is pretty much identical. You can play in 60 frames per second, although I'm not at the moment, because it doesn't translate to the stream very well, unfortunately. But once you've played 60 frames per second, I assure you, you do not want to go back to the PS4's 30. That said, the only other change that I know about, a couple of changes actually. The first is that New Game Plus and New Game Minus are unlocked straight from the start. The second is that you can cheat. Here in Config, you can maximise your license points and guild. I haven't done that. It's pretty much a permanent choice if you do. Don't get a renew off again, which is what I think it did previously. Yeah, COD Gamer he did, didn't he? Let's see what I've got that might be useful here. Don't really want to waste a Hastegar mote. The good thing as well is that summons actually last longer now. A lot longer in the Zodiac Age. 4.5 minutes I think it is. Compared to, I think it was 1.5 minutes or a minute in the original game. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Are we going to do it? We're doing it. He's down. We did it. Nice one. And we get the Ring of the Toad. That was a bit touch and go there. I'm going to try and start using Espers more, I think. I didn't use them a whole lot in my PS4 playthrough. But they are somewhat fun. Right, let's get rid of him. Get our other party members brought back to life. Yep, that's it. You Phoenix down on them, Belf. That weren't too shabby. Let's go and use the save crystal over here. Heal up and actually save, I think. I am Greg, actually. I just haven't done so yet. I've got... one of my characters has got a quickening already. Ash. Okay, I am going to be learning quickening soon, though. I generally haven't had the need to up until this point. But now we're going to be starting more hunts and what have you. It's probably not a bad idea, to tell you the truth. Right then, let's sort out these trees, shall we? So there's one here. I think there's 6 in total. And then this is going to unlock a couple of hunts for us later on. In particular, Gill Snapper. Which is a challenging one. I'm not going to take that on as of right at this moment. But we do need to go ahead and knock these trees down in preparation for it anyway. But we can get some experience and stuff on the way as well. Right, where's the tree? There should be one around here. There it is. Oh, thank you for the subscription. Appreciate that. Oh, no, I understand, Renton. Fair enough. If you're playing it on PS4, then that's probably all you need, isn't it? I got the PC version, even though I own the PS4 version, primarily because I wanted to see what differences there were, make any videos that were necessary for YouTube, and I did do a few. But since I got it anyway, I thought, hey, we can have another bash at it, a more laid-back playthrough, and that's when the whole live streaming idea came up. Right then, so there's more with the trees a little bit north in the next area. More treasure. It does make a nice difference. The graphics are the same, quite frankly. But it does make a difference going to 60 frames per second. It's just a darn shame I'm not actually playing in 60 frames per second. But that's, as I say, because of the live streaming. I tried it in 60 frames per second, and my bandwidth just isn't good enough. So it came through very, very poorly, unfortunately. Avocado baby, yeah, I am trying to stay on top of the hunts. They do build up, don't they, if you don't do them. And yeah, some of them get very easy once you've powered your team up to stronger than you need to be for them. How many trees have we got left? I've done 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I've got 2 more. So there should be one around here. There it is. Okay, and we'll just try and make our way now into the area over to the east for the final tree. Oh, you get all sorts, Greg. All sorts of internet speeds. Unfortunately, I live out in the sticks, out in the country. So that means that I don't get priority on fastest internet setups. And my internet speed is 38 meg down and usually about 6.5 to 7 meg up. I did actually get an email from my internet service provider saying that soon they're going to upgrade me to ultra fast, or I'll have the option to be upgraded to ultra fast broadband, which is supposed to be guaranteed 100 meg down or 200 meg down or something. It doesn't tell me what the upload speed is though, which is really what I need. And there's the tree that we're after. See you later, Jackie. Yeah, no problem. Take care, enjoy your breakfast. Right, so that's all of the withered trees. I mean, some parts of the UK get really fast broadband. And some parts get absolutely terrible broadband. And I think I'm probably somewhere in the middle, to tell you the truth, of that scale. we've got a bit of a different situation in the UK, mainly because our main broadband provider is BT, a company called BT, British Telecom, and my goodness, you need to stay away from those elementals. That's me not concentrating. And they were a publicly owned company, a government-owned run company, for many, many years, until probably about 15 or 20 years ago, I think. And so they've ended up being able to basically control everything. And because of that, there hasn't been a whole lot of innovation. Now, there are other companies and that providing broadband, but even a lot of those are having to use the BT network in order to do so. So they really control a lot of the technologies, and we're pretty much dependent upon their mercy at investing in new techs and technologies in order to increase broadband speeds. Right then, so I did not want to come here, but I did want to just take a break from that elemental so we could resurrect up again. Hi guys, Hard Punk Core and Abhijit Pandal, welcome back. Sorry, I'm getting used to your name now. I am terrible with names, I do apologise. I'm terrible at either pronouncing names or actually remembering names, quite frankly. But yeah, I'm having a bit of a laid-back playthrough since the game came out on PC. I purchased it initially to do some YouTube videos on some of the differences between the PC version and the non-PC, the PS4 version. But then I thought, hey, good excuse to, since I've purchased it, to fire it up again on PC. There we go, we can cross now and do some live streaming. So there are some decent treasures that respawn around here. Some of the enemies can be a little bit on the tricky side though. So we just need to be a little bit cautious about that. Looks like Pinello's been hit with a few status ailments. Well, silence. So who do we need to level now? Ash. Varn. And Pinello. No, we'll have Bash because he's more tanky. Yeah, hello folks, for those just joining. Welcome to the stream this afternoon or this morning or this evening, wherever you are in the world. How tough are these guys? They're very tough at the moment. Let's run away from there. Okay, we'll leave those treasures for now. We'll come back to them a little bit later on. Let's just set up a gambit for blind. I actually need to start stocking up again, don't I, on status healing items, since we're starting to run a little bit low on them. Okay, Abhijit. Oh, I'm quite impressed with that then. No major differences really. There are a few minor differences. I mean, it's quite a major difference in terms of the fact that you can play the game in 60 frames per second. But just to clarify for those watching, this isn't 60 frames per second because of the fact that I'm live streaming. But you can set it to that. It does make quite a difference actually. So that's the biggest thing, but also you can do New Game Plus, New Game Minus straight from the get-go. You don't have to unlock them. You've got a couple of cheat options in terms of you can maximise your licence points or your gil with the click of a button. I haven't done that, but the option's there. And a change, which is kind of a stealth change, but a lot of people are interested in it, is there's currently no way to manipulate the random numbers in order to force spawns of chests that contain Sight and Grat, Great Trango, and things of that nature. So that's the changes that I know about anyway. But in all honesty though, it is actually a very good port. I know a lot of people get a little bit nervous when games are ported to the PC, and I think there's precedent as to why that's the case. But that being said, I've not had any crashes or anything like that. The game has run very smoothly for me. So, at least in that regard, everything's working well. Oh, did you, Greg? I guess you was quite powered up after that then, weren't you? Right, so we're going south because we're heading to the Ozmone plane. Actually, what am I doing? There's one thing we still need to do, and that... I can't remember if we handed in the hunt or not. I don't think we did we? Let's go and do that, or check. Then we'll head to the Ozmone plane. Yeah, for those of you that might be watching a little bit later, once the video's been archived, if you're actually wanting a full walkthrough for the game, you're better off checking out my PS4 walkthrough, since that's going to have been taken a lot more seriously than this particular playthrough, which is more for the live streaming, to be honest. It's more laid back, just chatting with folks. Yeah, I'm trying to get everything done, but it won't be done in the most systematic approach to the game. Just having a bit of my drink. Okay, so there's the hunt. Ah, we get a serpent rod. We'll see if our healer can put that to use. Yep. Right, now we're going to head over to the plains of Ozmone, or whatever it is they're called. Right, we're trying to avoid the elementals this time. They are neutral, but sometimes when you're attacking the other fiends around the area, they do like to stick their noses in, and once they've received the brunt of one of your attacks, that's it, then they just start obliterating the party. Oh, I just need to make sure somebody's wearing the embroidered tippet so we're not wasting experience. Varn. Okay, we need to get it off Varn, because... no, he's in the party. We could keep it on him for now. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's true, Greg. There tends to be a little bit of an AoE effect, doesn't there? Area of effect to some of these spells. Right, here we are in the next area now. The Ozmone plane. And there's probably not a whole lot for us to do here yet, apart from head straight to Chihara. So let's make a start on that. Grab some of the chests along the way, I guess. Right, are we actually attacking this thing? Yeah, we are. Might need to bring some ranged attackers in, such as Ash. In fact, let's go ahead and do that. Oh, Ash is already there. That's why we do range attack. Let's bring Fran in. Who should we get rid of? Varn, I guess. No, we'll get rid of Bash, since he's a higher level. Okay, that'll do nicely. We'll have Fran as the party leader here. Right, somebody's gambits aren't set up. Lowest max HP. Just turn that off for now. Oh, I didn't actually see that one, but that one won't work while she's the party leader. Ah, good. We're getting a nice amount of level hype, aren't we? Over the last 5-10 minutes. Some of the enemies feel like they're getting a little bit stronger as well, actually. Taking just a couple of hits to go down now. Oh boy, this is where the Zantine and caverns are located. And we do have to spend quite a bit of time there. Not in terms of story. In fact, I don't think we ever have to visit it in terms of the story. But in terms of the amount of optional content that's located in that place, we do end up spending a lot of time in that place, in that dungeon. But for now, we're not going in. Right, let's just swap the embroidered tippet thing around here. Okay. Final area now. There's a couple of areas we haven't yet explored, but nothing we need to do in them at the moment. Oh, it was fantastic, actually. I've actually enjoyed the game a whole lot more as well since its re-release on the PS4. Don't get me wrong, I spent a lot of time with it on the PS2, but I don't think I appreciated it as much then as I do now. It actually innovated in many ways. And I think because of that, some people were a little bit unsure of it when it first came out, because it does change a lot from previous Final Fantasy games. But looking back now, I think that's all that was, and that really, it is actually a fantastic game. Yeah, but that's the thing as well, Hard Punk Core. You get to make the choice, don't you? Do you power your characters up and just blitz through everything? Or do you take it easy and actually take on the challenges? The player actually gets choices, don't they? Let's go ahead and save. Oh yeah, that's quite traditional actually in Final Fantasy, isn't it? I think just in a lot of role-playing games. The actual story content, especially the end bosses, are generally far easier than the optional content that you can undertake. I remember playing Final Fantasy VII, and killing Ruby and Emerald Weapon, and then just blitzing through the final fights at the end in the Northern Crater. And that was like the first role-playing game I played back in the 90s, so I wasn't expecting it to be like that, but it was an interesting experience, I'll put it like that. Oh, one sec. Me bloody shoes fell off my foot. I can't find it. It ended up way under the desk. Ah, that's better. Greetings to those that have just come on the stream. The stream in the last few minutes. Just been having a chat as we blitzed our way through the Giza Plains and the Ozmone Plain. To be honest, Ruby Weapon, once you got the strategy going, wasn't too bad, but Emerald Weapon was definitely the hardest out of the two of them. Even if you had the right strategy going on Emerald Weapon, you could still get wiped. If you weren't paying attention, or if he did something out of sequence. Hello Harrison then, welcome. Right, so here we are in Jahara Village. So, just a bit of story stuff to get through at this point more than anything, really. I was just hoping to see... Was there a... I don't think the vendor's out here, is there? No. Just the guy where we can hire the chocobos from. He did, that's true. He would suck two people out of the battlefield, Ruby Weapon would, wouldn't he? But you get a good Knight to the Round chain going, and he would fall quite easily, I found. But it just required a lot of setup, a lot of setup. You had to level up your mine materials, your Knight to the Round materials. Oh, you in Australia, are you, Harrison? Oh, that's interesting. We've got people on the stream where it's 1 AM, people on the stream where it's breakfast time, and me where it's in the middle of the afternoon. Right, high potions, that's what I'm after. Let's go for 30 of them. I'm not going to purchase any of those just yet. We'll wait until we've got a little bit more in the way of gil. We do need some more eye drops though. They're quite cheap. Oh, magics. Yeah, you can get Flame Tongue, which is a nice boost actually. In fact, a lot of these weapons are quite an upgrade here. But by golly, we're going to need a little bit of dosh in order to purchase them, really. Okay, okay. What I'm going to do is just very briefly run a few rounds of trial mode the first stage. And the reason for that is we can collect a few diamond armlets to sell for 6,000 gil a piece. Oh no, I know what you mean, Hardpunk. No, I didn't on those fights actually. I didn't see the point in doing that, to be honest. Well, just make sure that we don't have diamond armlet, otherwise we're not going to get the diamond armlet by looting it. Oh, that's pretty good. So we got people from the States, people from Australia. Are you in Abhijit? Abhijit, are you in India, did you say earlier? Pretty awesome how the internet brings the whole world together, isn't it? Right, let's go ahead then and go back to the title menu. And we're going to go trial mode. Oh, that's decent then, Harrison. Trial mode gets extraordinarily challenging at those kinds of levels. So all I'm going to do is just flee up here. Try and grab this diamond armlet. There we go, that's all I need to do. Well, apart from kill these guys and get to the next stage. Oh, Northern England, Joel. Okay, that's perhaps not too far from where I am. Right, then exit to title menu. Load game. And just going to repeat that a couple of times. I don't want to do it too many times. I probably would if I was playing off live stream, but I don't want to bore people silly just by repeating trial mode stage 1 over and over. But at 6,000 gil for about 1 minute's work. A few rounds should get us enough money to stock up on some of those weapons and magics. Yeah, that's a good point actually, Harrison. There are a few missables, aren't there? Off the top of my head, I'm not sure if there's a lot in the way of missables in this particular game, though. There is in terms of a few areas that you can't go back to once you've done them. But generally speaking, there's not a whole lot of important items that you can loot from those areas, I don't think. Oh yeah, ribbon. You can get that from trial stage 49, if memory serves correctly. One thing I do have to try and concentrate on with trial mode is loading the right save files to actually bring stuff across. Sometimes when not paying attention, can mess that up. We'll start by going for one more and then seeing what we can purchase, I think. So back to trial mode for just one more run through the first level here. Later on we'll be able to have the... Is it the cat ear or the cat hood? It's an accessory anyway. And if you purchase 6 of them, one for each character, you'll just have gil coming out of your backside. Yeah, there we go, diamond armlet. Alright, that'll do for now. Just check how many of those I did actually get. Okay, got a few. So we'll sell them. Yeah, it's good actually that you can repeat the trial mode. So some people think that it is cheating and that trial mode is actually a bad addition to the game, but it is completely optional at the end of the day. You can go through the entirety of the campaign, of the story, the main game, and never set foot into trial mode. So again, I don't see how player choice can necessarily be a bad thing. Right, let's sell some of this other rubbish that we've got. I do want to keep the blood sword actually for now. We'll just sell 3. We do need to keep 1 for actual lootings when we do require it. Cat ear hood. That's the one. What did I say? Cat ear or cat hood, didn't I? I guess I was right. Who can use flame tongue? Let me just check that. I think it's Balthea. No, it's licenses is what I'm trying to go for. Yeah, there it is. Okay, and now we need a shield of some kind, some description. Get a better mace for Varn. Get a flame staff for our black mage, which is probably not a bad idea because all the different staffs have various elements attached to them. Right then, let's just go ahead now and actually look at the magics. I do like to try and keep on top of them if we can. Hard punk, is it intentional that you can bring items back? That's a good question, because when trial mode was first introduced, it was introduced in the international Zodiac system on the PS2 version of the game. Not the original PS2 game, but the Japanese international release later on. And there was no autosave feature in that game like there is on PS4 and PC, which meant that basically what you would do is when you loaded up trial mode, you would have to go through at least 10 stages, and only then could you then come back into the main game once you could manually save. So if you wanted to say something from trial mode stage, I don't know, 37, you would have to go through 30 all the way up to 40. You couldn't just come out on stage 38. So you could still bring items back in them, but with the autosave feature now on PC and PS4, it's become a heck of a lot easier to farm the items that you want from trial mode. So it's possible that at least in that sense it was unintentional. But the actual bringing stuff over I don't think was. It's just a little bit easier now than it was before. But yeah, Abhijit, at the end of the day, if you miss stuff in the main game, or items like the ribbon, which you can't normally get until much later, and then they are difficult to get anyway, then yeah, you've got the option of using trial mode as well if you want to. Need to speak to someone else now. I haven't on this playthrough, Jackie. I think I did on the previous one. I haven't done a whole lot of trial mode, I've got to be honest with you, on PC here yet. I've done a little bit of what you just saw me doing where I was collecting gil by selling diamond armlets. And I did go through stages 1 to 10 to get some license points after defeating Belias one time. But that's pretty much it so far. That's it, High Chief Zayalu. Hello and welcome to those just joining us on stream. Nice to see a few of you stopping by. So this is the PC version of Final Fantasy XII. Just in case you weren't aware, so recently released on Steam. About a week ago, I think. Just under a week ago, perhaps. Right, now I think we can use our stick and beat a few heads around here so we can get past. Or just hand it over in a very peaceful fashion. Right, I think at this point we're going to get a couple of cutscenes, so I'll try and be quiet through them. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Yeah, it's interesting. One thing I'm not totally sure about why it's happened is they've clearly stopped the RNG manipulation for the weapons, forcing yourself to be able to get the weapons like Sight and Grat. And fair enough if they don't want people doing that, I understand. But then they've given us the option to max out our guild or to max out our license points. Literally at the click of the button. So that just seems a little bit inconsistent to me. Although, yeah, license points are very easily come by in this game. Right, I think this is where we get a cutscene. A little bit further up.
This nethicite, you have used it.
It was not I who used it. Indeed, I had hoped you could show me how. Thus I've come.
You do not know the workings of the stone, then we are no different.
What?
In ages past, the gods made a gift of nethicite to my people. But the manner of its use eluded us. Displeased by our failure, the gods took back their stones. They chose instead to give them to a Yum king. Called the Dynast King, he used the nethicite's power to bring peace to a troubled time. It is a curious thing. Though the blood of King Wraithwolf flow through your veins, you cannot wield nethicite.
Cannot wield it? So then, am I to understand you can't tell me how to use the stone?
Though it shame me so to admit, here before me stands a descendant of the Dynast King himself, and I can accord her no help at all. Still, even if you knew how to use the nethicite, you would find it of small avail. The mist collected in the stone over ages past is lost, and with it, the stone's power. It will be your posterity who wield the stone in ages yet to come. This stone is devoid of power, empty, yet full of thirst. A terrible longing to drink the world dry. The power of men and of magic, of good and of evil. It is often those who desire nethicite whom the nethicite itself desires.
Larsa? To Baromi says.
I say we ought leave tomorrow. I was going to wait for my escort to return, but meeting you here has presented a great opportunity. This terrible war can be stopped, but I will need your help to do so.
A war?
You know the Marquis Ondor leads a group of insurgents. Your pardon. He leads a large resistance force against the Empire. Lady Ash, neither of our countries can afford this now. The Rosarian Empire would stir. They would aid the resistance and use this aid as a pretext to declare war on Arcadia, and Arcadia would have no choice but to answer. Lady Ash, let us go to Ber Omases. With the blessing of his grace, the Grand Kiltius Anastasis, you may rightly wear your crown and declare the restoration of the Kingdom of Dalmasca. As Queen, you can call for peace between the Empire and Dalmasca and stop Marquis Ondor.
For peace? How dare you say that? The Empire attacked us, stole all we hold dear, and you would have me save them from war?
Dalmasca would be the battlefield. What if Nethicite were used on Rabanasta? You know my brother would do this. Forgive me. I presumed overmuch. I could think of no other way to avoid bloodshed. If you cannot trust me, then please, take me as your hostage.
Rustler.
You saw him, didn't you? Like at the King's tomb.
So you did see him too. But why?
It's strange. Before, I didn't even know what you looked like. And the prince? I barely knew there was a prince. Who knows? Maybe the person I saw was my brother.
Bush told me about him.
He enlisted right at the end. But for what? He knew he couldn't win.
To protect something.
How can he protect anything when he's dead? Was it different for Prince Rastler? Did that make sense? Hating the Empire, getting revenge, it's all I ever thought about. But I never did anything about it. I mean, I realized there was nothing I could do. It made me feel hollow, alone. And then, I'd miss my brother. I'd say stuff like, I'm gonna be a sky pirate, or some other stupid thing. Just anything to keep my mind off it. I was running away. I needed to get away from his death. That's why I followed you. You know what? I'm through with it. I'm through running. I'm ready to find my purpose. To find some real answers. Some reasons. If I stick with you, I think I will.
I wish I knew.
I'll find him.
Okay, so hopefully that's the end of the cutscenes. There seems to have been some interesting debate going on in the live chat as that was going on,
I will accompany you.
which I was trying to stay on top of and keep up
I'd
with.
hoped you'd say yes. I'm glad.
My heart is not set. I still have questions. I hope to find answers along the way.
I had other reason to invite you. There is someone I'd like you to meet, waiting on Ber Omases.
Who is that?
An enemy, and an ally also. You will just have to wait and see for yourself.
That Larsa likes his secrets.
He does not mean ill by it.
He's not bad. At least for an Imperial.
Holy Mount Ber Omases stands at the northern end of the Jagd Remuda. Once we're in Yacht, we need not fear pursuit by their airships.
Don't get your hopes up. You remember the Leviathan sailed straight over the Yacht-Yensa, right up to Wraithel's tomb. Skystone that works even in Yacht. You know, Nethersight's behind it. Little wonder they're so keen on the stuff.
And what is it you're after, Balthier? You're a welcome hand and a great aid, but why?
Worried I'm out to steal the Nethersight, eh? Can't say I'm unaccustomed to people doubting my intentions. Nothing could be further from my mind. Shall I swear by your sword or some such?
Apologies, but I needed to know where you stand. Her Majesty depends on you, and you seem to have an interest in the stone.
I'm only here to see how the story unfolds. Any self-respecting leading man would do the same.
Okay, so we got Larsa back as a guest at this point, and I'm pretty sure we can get a free chocobo as well for a journey here, if memory serves correctly. Yeah, I've been trying to keep up with this debate that's going on in chat. Oh, you off, are you, Greg? Yeah, see you later then. Take care. Thanks for stopping by today, mate. Listen, when it comes to how to play a single-player game like Final Fantasy XII, I don't want to be a pragmatist because I'm not a big fan of pragmatism in general. But I can't see any other way than if you enjoy how you're playing the game, then it is a valid way of playing. It's a single player game, it's not a multiplayer game, you're not affecting anybody else in any other way. The fact that you might not enjoy playing the way somebody else enjoys doesn't mean it's not valid. Personally, I have absolutely no interest in any way, shape or form in playing through on New Game Plus in this game. I think it was a lazy implementation the way it's been done. The fact that your characters begin at level 90 instead of level 1, and that's the only change, that would just make an incredibly boring playthrough as far as I'm concerned. Thank you for the subscription, by the way. An incredibly boring playthrough. I've got no interest in that. And in fact, I've even seen people posting on the Steam forum, the Steam discussion, saying, look, I've started a game on New Game Plus because it's available at the start on the PC version. I'm 7-8 hours into the game. It's boring as heck. Is there anything I can do about it apart from starting the game again from the beginning? And no, I don't think there is. It just seems like a boring way to play. But the option's there. You know, maybe there's a few people that do want to play the game that way without any challenge whatsoever, and just start at level 90. So what? You know, it doesn't affect me if they want to do that. It doesn't bother me. I don't want to do that. And I think as well with Japanese role-playing games, with role-playing games in general, but especially with Japanese role-playing games, it just does seem to be part of the genre. There's always ways to manipulate the game, whether the devs intended it or not, to just OP your characters. And as a matter of fact, you can even hinder your progression through the game. The fact that we have weak mode in this game was a response to players on the original Final Fantasy XII purposefully gimping their characters in a way that the devs didn't really intend by using the Firefly accessory to create all kinds of different challenges. And the devs have responded to that by giving us weak mode. So it works both ways as well. I think we should bear that in mind. It's not just about OPing your characters in the way the devs haven't intended, but also gimping your characters as well if you want to make that choice. That's the point though. I think like everyone pretty much agreed in chat, it is down to choice. You do what you want. If you enjoy doing it, then fine. You know, it's not affecting me. Right now, I'm just happy having a laid-back walkthrough. I'm not getting any OP stuff. I'm doing some of the optional hunts and stuff. But that's about it. But personally, I just don't generally get worked up or annoyed if people, you know, OP themselves in a way that perhaps the game wasn't intended for them to do. Because why would I care about losing sleep over that? It's not bothering me at all. It's not affecting me at all. I think the problem is assuming that because I wouldn't have fun in playing like that, that they can't have fun in playing like that. And people are different. So I'll try not to assume things like that. Though I can understand the frustration, don't get me wrong. I'll just say don't lose any sleep over it though. Right, is this the free one? Yeah, it is. Yeah, weak mode's actually not that hard. If you go for the right setup, in particular with the foe breaker job class, then the guns that you can get pretty much carry you through the game, because guns are the one weapon in the Zodiac Age that aren't determined, their power isn't determined by character level. So you can literally do just massive amounts of damage, and you can get some very powerful guns very early on if you're prepared to put the grinding into it. So oh, sorry Abhijit, I just saw your message. You're probably gone now, but goodbye if you are still there. Oh, the speed up mode. Maybe there is debate on that. I've not seen it if there is. But to me, that's just more of a quality of life change than anything else. In fact, the devs themselves recognised that there was, you know, a bit of a problem with the original game. The amount of running and that you had to do around some of the lengthy areas. Yeah, it's just a quality of life change more than anything, I think. I'm not sure off the top of my head where I'm going, actually. I'm not really paying attention.
I guess this one was a
Oh.
success.
Well, that answers the question.
Wow, I'm impressed, Vaughn.
I got a good feeling.
An alliance between Dalmasca and the Empire.
Reason tells me 'tis the only course. We must avoid a wasting war with the Empire at all cost. Yet I fear I could not bear the shame, had I but the strength.
A shame perhaps for me and for you. But for Dalmasca, it is hope.
And you can just accept this, can you?
After Vane's ruse, I had abandoned hope for honor. Yet, never did I forget my knightly vows. If I could protect but one person from war's horror, then I would bear any shame. I would bear it proudly. I could not defend my home. What is shame to me?
My people hate the Empire. They will not accept this.
There is hope.
Right?
Don't encourage
Hope for a future where we can
not
join
that bad,
hands
am I?
I
as
got
brothers.
A good feeling.
Larsa, please. This is serious.
I'm sorry. Don't be Larsa. Somebody's got to put him in his place.
Oh, thanks, Hardpunk. I was just going to mention something about weapons. After the cutscene, I didn't want to talk over it, but thanks for sharing that info in chat.
One to be brought down easily. The entire military waits upon his orders, from the War Council down to the rank and file. What better blade than he to strike down the enemies of the Empire?
Your Honor reminds me of Zect 2 years since. He, too, put his trust in Lord Vane's strength, and what became of him? Gone without a trace since Nabudis.
I will not hear you malign Judge Zect. He was a noble warrior. Or do you think his trust in Lord Vane ill-placed?
Vane took 2 of his own brothers' lives. He is ruthless beyond contempt.
Ruthless, you say? Would he were more so? He gives traitors no quarter, be they of his own blood. How fitting for one who would bear the burden of empire.
But could we bear him? Zagabath, what of you? Surely you do not believe his brothers were traitors?
So found His Excellency Lord Gramis, you would do well to mind your tongue, Drace. That matter is long past.
Your Honors, A summons. Lord Vane has arrived at the palace.
We come at once.
Lord Larsa has left for Baromises. He hopes to enlist the aid of the Grand Kiltius in stopping the insurgents. I doubt this will be enough to deter Ondor, but even a slight hindrance to his operations would be welcome. This will delay the Rosarian invasion, and we will have bought much-needed time to shore up our defenses.
Just as His Excellency had hoped.
No matter the result, I'm pleased with the young lord's progress. I can already see the stunned faces of those mud-witted senators. The fools think a child emperor's strings easy to pull from the shadows. But they will find that Lord Larsa is no puppet.
Yes, the senators would be most pleased with a puppet for an emperor. Recall, Drace, how the Senate fears and despises Lord Vane's ability. When they realize the truth, that Lord Larsa is no docile lamb to be shepherded, they will bare their teeth and devour him.
You're right. I shall speak on this matter with His Excellency at once. Gabranth, it falls to us to protect Lord Larsa. Are we agreed?
Aye.
Yeah, I do like the characterisation, actually, of the judges, because... yeah, they're following orders, but they also have their own ethical situations that they have to try and work through as well. And there's times when those two things come into conflict. So they're not just, you know, one-sided villains in the sense of, say, Sephiroth is or something like that. Right, into the Goldmoor jungle we go. Yeah, in terms of weak mode then, guns are really the way to go. In fact, all the other weapons are pretty much useless. But if you go on, I think it's Final Fantasy Wiki, then it does actually have the calculations for all the damage, for all the weapon type damage that's in the game. So you can see which weapons are ideal in which situations. Right, so first things first, we'll go and grab the map urn, which I believe is near the entrance to this place. Right, how are we doing in terms of levels right now? Bash and Pinello are a little bit behind. So we'll bring those into the fray here. And I want a better tank. Oh no, we've got Bash's tank. Let's just bring Varn in. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to think what it was. On my week mode playthrough that I did a few months back, there was a gun that I farmed. I can't remember if it's Formal House or if that was the later gun, but there was a gun that I farmed for. It took a while before the Tomb of Wraithwall, and on weak mode at level 1, I was able to blitz through the first demon wall with that gun. It was just so powerful. I mean, you have to work for it. It's not just handy to you. You have to do a lot of farming for it. But it was a big help. Right, the urn is just around here, I think. I'm sure of it. Oh, there it is. See a few more people have joined the last 10 minutes or so, so welcome to you, welcome to the stream. Ah, there's actually one thing I did forget to do when we was at Jihara, and that was the hunt. We picked up a hunt with a petitioner around there, didn't we? The Arcturus, that's the one, COD Gamer. Thanks for jogging my memory on that. I definitely recommend going for that Arcturus gun. I mean, it's possible to get 2, actually. Yeah, that's right, the formal house. I think we get it from Sarobi Steppe, don't we? In the Zodiac Age. But the Arcturus, if you can get 2 of those before Tomb of Wraithwall, then you'll be absolutely fine, even on weak mode. That said, even though guns are super powerful on weak mode, they're not the best way to power your party up in terms of if you're trying to max out the damage and that you can do on a normal playthrough. So the job combinations that you go for on weak mode, which is going to mostly involve foe breakers to some degree, is not going to be an optimal job setup for a normal mode playthrough. I don't know whether just to head back actually and take care of that hunt or something. Oh, we can do it a little bit later. Get the cutscene.
What is it?
The jungle denies us our passage. What have we done? We? No. I.
What's that mean? How are we supposed to get through that?
Making an appearance?
Come on, I'm talking over here.
I thought you'd left for good.
Hey!
Our choices are few.
Friend? Balthier!
This is as much for you as it is me.
Oh?
You are ill at ease. The Nethersite troubles you. You've let your eyes betray your heart.
Right.
Yeah, I still don't think I've got a favourite Esper actually, Abhijit.
What are you doing?
I do like the Espers in this game. I wish I'd used them more on my PS4 playthrough.
Soon you will learn.
Oh, that's a good point then, COD Gamer. It's not just the difficulty of trying to stay alive. It's the fact that you're just not doing the damage to really make any progress, are you?
Glad to see you after so long.
I am unwelcome, an unsought guest in their wood.
Right, so we're just going to head over to Everett Village. I don't believe it's level 40 where we are at the minute, to be honest. Hardpunk says, yeah, it's level 40 later on when we unlock the next part of the area. But we haven't done that yet, so... There are a couple of chests around this place as well, an amber, armlet and about 10,000 gil. Oh, one thing I do want to check actually is Gambit for Larsa. We can actually give him shades of black, which is pretty fun. And also, he can cast balance or something. Oh, bubble. That's what I meant, bubble. So if we cast that on Bash, for example, since he's doing most of the upfront damage, doubling his health isn't going to be a bad experience. Yeah, I know what you mean. In fact, I don't want to go down there just yet. But I just wanted to see if that was level 40 area, and it was. So yeah, we do want to avoid that bit for now. Definitely want to avoid that. There's a big difference actually between the level 20 area and the level 40 area. So I don't want Varn to be party leader. I want Bash. I'm trying to see where we're going now for the second event. There should be another event around here that ends up letting us go through. Yeah, I might spend quite a bit of time, probably off the stream to be honest, just maximising out the weapons and that we can get for this point in the game for our party, because I haven't done a whole lot of it because I've been taking a more laid back approach. Just going to pop back out a sec. Oh, another level. Right, so we do need to go to the needle break, which is just down here. But I thought that's where we got obliterated. Maybe not. Let's go and find out. Slow things down a touch. Yeah, you're right. I just cannot seem to... I've been chatting so much in the stream that I've just lost my bearings a little bit more than anything. At some point, yeah, I will be. Just bring everyone back to life here. Ah! That's what we're after. The hidden path. Right, now we can go to Eriot Village and actually get a save as well. Yeah, thanks Hardpunk. I just found it actually just before your message popped up.
In the village ahead, you will find her, Nyearn. Bring her.
But thanks for that, appreciate it.
She will know why you call her.
There is a bit of an annoying delay on the stream, which is quite frustrating at times. So if I don't respond to you guys when you actually post to me, I don't actually see the message until about 25 seconds to 30 seconds later, depending on what mood YouTube is in. Is that right? Is it COD Gamer? I did actually do that benchmark and it completed for me. A lot of people said that they couldn't get it to complete. But I did complete it. And then I did it again because I recorded a video on it, which is up on my YouTube channel. But I got a much lower benchmark. And I came to the conclusion that's because I was recording at the same time. So let's just shop at the vendor first, because there's a few interesting items, I think, from Tetron here. Demon's Bane, a very powerful weapon, actually, back in Final Fantasy XII. The Storm Staff, that could be important, because it's another elemental staff. But let's see what we've got in terms of items, techniques, and magics. Asuna. Let's grab these first. I do like to keep my magics up to date more than anything. But then items as well, of course. That's a nice upgrade for Pinello. We'll leave it for now, though. It's a lot of gil. Yeah, one of my latest videos, Hard Punk, it's got the download link in it, but you can just type it into Google for the Final Fantasy 15 benchmark. It's an official benchmark from Square, and it basically runs a few scenes from the game. And then you can see if your PC is going to be up for running the Windows edition when it comes out in March. But a lot of people have been complaining that the benchmark is really buggy, which doesn't fare well, since it's just a small portion of what we can hopefully expect when the game comes out. But Square have been like, no, that'll be absolutely fine, the game will run perfectly. Just the benchmark wasn't perfected. But we'll have to wait and see on that, how it all pans out. I've got a little bit sceptical, though, about that port now, but we'll see how it runs when it comes out. But apparently the benchmark is a little bit rough. That said, as I mentioned, I was able to complete it and I didn't have any problems with it. I just know lots did. Folks, I think I'm going to have to take a break for a bit now. Been going for about an hour and a half, but I'll try and find some time this evening to come back on for an hour or so. I do want to make a little bit more progress if we can. I want to try and get some hunts done. Yeah, it's just for the PC version. Hard Punk. So you got the PS4 and Xbox One have the Royal Edition coming out in March, which is supposed to bring a load of new content with it, along with the fact that you get all the DLC from the Season Pass. But there's also a PC version coming as well that has all of that as well. Yeah, thanks Harrison. I'm shooting off myself as well now, actually. I think I did just save. But no, I'm looking forward... I don't think I did, actually. I'm looking forward to the PC version. I'd be interested to see that game in 4K, although I can't actually play it in 4K because I don't have a 4K setup. But I know many people do. Just hopefully it will run properly. Yeah, thanks for stopping by today, folks. I'll try and do another event later where I'll set it up so that it can give us a bit of time, bit of warning as to when I'm going to be going live. But I'm going to log off for now. So, see you soon.